Check one, check two.
You hit it. It's up to you. And a lot of people, I think the vast majority of the problems that we have is that the people don't realize that it's up to them, and they attribute it to external forces.
Yeah.
Like, there's no responsibility. Like, yeah, all this external stuff is happening. Yeah, it's true. But we have a choice in how we react to it and how it affects us. Like, we really do. Like,
Absolutely.
no one else has that power, but we're not taught that. We're taught to be reactive. Someone does X, you do Y, and that's a puppet. We're taught to be puppets. We're not taught to be sovereign in our own emotions and how we deal with things. And I think that reactivity is what we're dealing with, just because people just running on programs. You do X, you get, and then people are just manipulating based on that. So,
and your expectations aren't, if you don't get what you expect, boy, you upset. And then all of a sudden you're going to externalize that too.
Yeah.
And what you really should be doing is wondering why you had that expectation in the beginning, to begin with. So we do this YouTube thing. I want to get paid. Oh, well, I mean, I don't really want to get paid, but the expectation is that eventually it's going to pay off. But the payment, again, is not necessarily in monetary fashion, is what I was saying before about I'm not attached to how it pays off. I'm not attached to why I'm doing this. I'm just doing it because it's something that I believe is in essence it's gonna pay for itself in other ways, I guess is the best way to put it. And recording them and coming back to them, I feel like a lot of our conversations and topics are ahead of the curve, and sometimes I'm not even ready for what we talk about, and I'll go back and I might see it in 2 years and be like, damn, why did I believe that then, but I don't believe that now? Maybe I should go rethink that, or maybe I should take it to heart.
Yeah,
I was happier then, or whatever it might be, or I couldn't see the building blocks, but shit, I done made a building over here.
Yeah. I think all of us can look back and look at the times we were less aware, or we had our blinders on, or whatever. Just part of growth. And I think showing examples of that and just showing that we all make mistakes and things of that nature will help the others when they realize that it helps others realize that they could be wrong too. Like, could you be wrong? And if you could be wrong, have you looked at the alternatives? And there's nothing wrong with being wrong. I think there's nothing wrong. I mean, we've all been wrong before, and that's how do you learn other than being wrong? But a lot of people don't want to.
That's a great point. I think that is something that I've tried to preach in the past few months, is that you need to forgive yourself for being for whatever you feel. Like you are choosing to experience that for a reason. You're choosing to experience anger, choosing to experience sorrow, choosing to experience gratitude. Like, some of the things that you regret the most in life, you should forgive yourself for those things, the mistakes that you've made, because you chose to experience them. And now you hopefully are going in a place where you believe you're going to a better experience, or you're going to a better version of you. So how could you be a better version if you don't forgive yourself for those things that have taught you to become who you want to be?
Yeah, that's true. Self-forgiveness is key.
For those soul trap people who are looking at the afterlife conversations with the archons or the aeons or whoever it may be, if you forgive yourself, they ain't got shit on you. If they go, you need to go back and do it again. Be like, I forgive myself. I'm good. They go, what are they gonna tell you? Do it again and show me? No, I forgave myself. I'm not harboring none of that crap. So you ain't got nothing on me. I'm gonna go to the other window. I'm gonna go to the better world. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. That so is there still a lot of soul trap talk? A lot of is that still popular? And
yeah, I mean, I still think it's out there a lot. A lot of people are stuck to that, and that's okay. Like I said, it's nothing that I disagree with, that I know for a fact it's not going on. However, if that's something that you need to experience, or that you want to experience to get to the other side, or to not get to the other side, just stay there. That's okay. It's up to you. Forgive yourself for whatever you want to experience. However, when you give someone else power over you, that's you losing your sovereignty. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it seem like you're a victim and you don't have control over this, because then that is what they want. Where that takes them, I don't know. But I don't consent. You're not getting my soul. I will not be giving up my sovereignty to anyone. And that brings up a really freaking interesting history lesson, Mr. Bibleman MJ.
Mm.
Have you heard the or seen? I think you have. For the record, I'm gonna say yes, you have. Have you seen the comparisons between Jesus Christ and Lucifer?
I've heard
Don't
some
prove me
stuff a while
wrong.
ago.
Don't prove me wrong. You. So I saw a video. I'm gonna post it after this.
Mhm.
Not with this, but I'll send it to you too. It was a guy called Morg. I think a Morg official. He looked like a Satanist, but he's not really.
Mhm.
But he just depicts the Bible a different way, and he brings all the receipts, like Billy Carson said. He brings all the
Mhm.
receipts about all the Bible passages and the apocrypha, about all the stuff about Jesus, what he said, and the God of the Bible, and Lucifer not actually being the devil or Satan, how he's depicted. I mean, so Lucifer's name means to enlighten. I'm sure you knew that part. It means his name means the dawn of the sun is what Lucifer means, bringer of the light.
Mhm.
Lucifer, morning star,
Mhm.
which is odd, because Jesus' name in the Bible numerous times was saying Jesus was the dawn of light, and Jesus was the morning star, and so that's said a lot of times. So anyway, I'm gonna preach this. I don't think we've ever talked about this. So at 45, whatever that meant, I'm gonna throw it out there. I might catch some slack for this, but the way that I see creation, I saw creation explained to me. It wasn't channeled through Archangel Michael, just so people are clear that saw that video about me being channeling him. I saw creation as this. I saw creation as we were all God. And this is backed up in the Bible too about that. And the stories that were heard about Lucifer being cast out of heaven and trying to overthrow God, I see that as a complete misdirection. I'm not a Luciferian. I don't even know what that means necessarily, or I'm definitely not a Satanist. I'm an optimist. But I see that at some point in time in the stories and the myths, God and Lucifer and all the angels were either in heaven or they were as one, right? And I see that this casting out of heaven from Lucifer to potentially the earth, okay, or the realm of the demiurge or whatever this is. I see that as Lucifer wanted his sovereignty, and that he knew he was a part of God, and like a parent and a child separate. As far as the house is concerned, that when the child leaves the home, is he cast out of the home? No, he just leaves. He wants to
Mhm.
be free. He wants to
Right.
experience his
Right.
life,
Right.
and I think that's what happened with Lucifer, or say so whoever this person is. And so the stories say that uh, Lucifer, or the devil. I'm not going to say the devil because I don't think that's how he was portrayed in the Bible. I think the devil is actually used only like one or two times in the whole Bible. All of the Bibles. The word devil is not really in the Bible. Neither is I don't think Satan is in the Bible too much either. But Satan just in Hebrew means to oppose.
Yeah, the
So
adversary.
that's all I mean. So Satan is bullshit anyway. So I see this as basically Lucifer wanted to experience life and be sovereign, much the way that humans do. And in doing that, he left heaven to come incarnate on earth and bring the light to man. And that's been hijacked quite a bit, in my
Mhm.
opinion. And I think that our sovereignty of saying that I don't want to be controlled, I don't want to have anyone, make me a victim, is going back a lot of that to the New World Order, and the to be one and the singularity and all that crap is also, you'll see them all talking about God and the Lord and to be
Mhm.
one again. But I, for one, wasn't given life to give it back. You know what I mean? When I feel like I want to experience my sovereignty by being here and experiencing this life, I don't have regrets on that. I don't think that I'm being like Lucifer, Satanist in doing that and
Mhm.
wanting that. But I also don't want to be controlled, which I think is the control mechanism of this. Not only to say that Satan is the evil opposer of God, but if you're Almighty benevolent God and your son wants to experience life, do you tell him, well, if you leave, you can't come back? No, you ain't telling him that. Not if you're an all benevolent, loving parent. So I think that the message of Jesus Christ was saying the same thing that Lucifer, the stories that have been hijacked to my perspective, is that Jesus was saying the same thing, that we're all from the light. We're all from God. And there's nothing that perceives me or proceeds me, excuse me, that is evil. And that's what I think the message of Jesus was trying to tell us, and the same thing that Lucifer was trying to tell us in the Bible with his actual name of Lucifer before it was taken and thrown away. So I don't want to go back to oneness. I'm not ready. Maybe I will one day. I mean, I'm sure I will. But you know, the old sayings. Here's a good one. Here's a TV show. I Love Lucy.
Mhm.
Lucifer.
Hmm.
There's a show called on I think it was on Netflix. There's a show called Lucifer, but his name is Lucifer Morningstar, and the whole show is about how he is not a bad person. He's
Uh,
just one of the people. He's just doing
yeah.
his job. He's in charge of the realm, and that's what I think. I think he created this realm. I think he created the earth. And I don't think he's an evil person. I don't think he intended for suffering. I just think that we are free to experience, as we talked about, all aspects of it.
Mhm.
And when we choose to say no to the suffering, I think we can log out. Personally, that's what I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So so two things. So going back to Lucifer, because I've heard stuff to where, like what you said, like he's not the bad guy, and that his mission was actually to separate,
to free humanity,
to create the illusion of separation that will allow this experience. So you needed something to get the illusion that was separate from God. So he had to separate himself because that was his mission to do the yin and yang kind of deal, if you will. Mm-hmm. So I've heard that story as well. And I've also heard that in the Bible that he didn't lie to Adam and Eve, the snake, or the because some people think the snake is
forbidden fruit of knowledge.
Yeah. It's just that he was like he was looking out. Like the God, the Old Testament God, didn't want Adam and Eve to know, what he knew, right? Mm-hmm. Lucifer was like, nah, get the knowledge, and then I've heard that also in that knowledge was self-awareness, if you will, because they didn't even know that they were naked. So now they see themselves,
right? Now they know they're coming back from oneness. And what did Lucifer or the serpent in the Bible tell Adam and Eve? That if you eat the forbidden fruit of knowledge, what will happen to you?
Yeah, you know what God knows.
You will die.
No, God said he would die, but Lucifer said you won't die.
Oh, but you might be eternal, is what I'm saying. But in the Bible it says if they ate the forbidden fruit of knowledge, they would die.
Right,
and that's what happens when you come to Earth. Guess what? But we have to die when we come to Earth.
But was that a lie? So Jehovah said if you eat of this, you will die, right? But then the snake said, "No, you won't die." They ate of it and they didn't die. So.
But they didn't die. They didn't die right then and there. But
Jehovah? They were going to die.
If you ate the forbidden fruit of knowledge and you incarnate on Earth, you got to die eventually. But however, that death doesn't mean eternal death. It doesn't always mean death doesn't mean eternally. When we die, if we're immortal, which I can almost prove we're immortal, but regardless, I think I talked about it with Chad for a second about quantum immortality and stuff, and the observer effect. If the observer effect bends waves into particles, you have to be observing it for it to be a particle. But you can't observe your own death. I mean, it's not possible, right? I mean, if you're the observer and you die, that means the observer effect is not legit. Anyway, that's something for you guys to ponder a different direction. But you might be immortal, but you have to suffer death upon Earth.
Yeah,
then you can go somewhere. And that I think that he said that too, right? He said that you're immortal, even though you have to eat the forbidden fruit and you might die.
Yeah, and I think like death is part of, it's like the other side of birth. It's part of the experience, right? So yeah, I guess you can say if he said you will die, was he talking about eternal death or whatever? So you can debate that, but in my perspective, that entity did not want his creations to have the same level of awareness that it did, just based on that story. And the adversary was like, nah, you do this, and yeah, they were going to die. I feel they were going to die anyway, right? I mean, even how many people in the Bible didn't die? Probably even Jesus died in the Bible, right? He resurrected, but he died, right?
Mm-hmm.
So death is part of the, I think, part of the experience. Not nothing that we should necessarily fear, even though there is fear because it's unknown.
Yeah.
But and then going back to the unplugging, because I hear a lot of people talking about unplugging, and I was in that boat as well, as far as like wanting to unplug. But then the more and more I look at it, like you think about how much is unplugging really what we're here to do, or are we here to change and and um and to
Or are we here to make that choice? Are we here to awaken to the fact that we're in the dream?
change, or uh God, what it's the word for transmute, or
Alchemy.
yeah, is that what we're here to do? Because really, I mean, to come into a situation that can use light, and then you gather your light and then unplug, and then take that light, and then
That don't make no sense.
it doesn't make sense.
Nope.
All right, so that's what I just wonder. Like, is it really about unplugging and yeah, unplugging in a sense, unplugging in a sense from not giving energy to the negativity. I get that, but I'm talking about unplugging in a
From
sense
the
to
whole
where
experience.
just want to exit. Like, I'm just gonna leave this place and not try to make it better. Like, I did a post today just talking about, just asking Christians, do you really think Jesus would approve of what you did in his absence? Like, do you really think it's fair to screw over each other and screw over the planet and treat each other like you've done in his name, and then just be raptured up and everything be fair? Do you think that's fair, or you think it's more fair for you to fix the mistakes that you did? You know, what makes more sense? Yeah, and it takes responsibility, it takes work, it takes self-reflection, but I don't think the universe works like that. I mean, a good parent would not let his child off the hook if they destroyed their room, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna clean that up. Like, you got to
Yeah.
learn how to clean this up. You know how to mess it up. You know what a mess looks like. You got to learn how to clean it up. You're gonna cry, you're gonna complain, but I'm not gonna let you just go out and just keep messing stuff up. Like,
And when you do that, you're gonna have a blank slate tomorrow. And I hope you learn your lesson. I hope you clean it up next time.
yeah. But I think that's one of the flaws with the thought process that Elon has with because he says he's so interested in going to Mars and being a multi-planetary species because he wants to preserve the light of consciousness. But in my opinion, all the stuff we're doing here, you're just going to export to another planet. You're not solving the problem. So, okay, we're going to screw up Earth, and you don't think we're going to screw up Mars? Right? If we have the same level of consciousness and we're doing the same thing, do you think location makes any difference?
I don't think anybody's in there, Elon. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't think you have a soul, bro. I mean, I just don't. I think there's too many things that keep coming up about, and I'm gonna say they're just being programmed. I don't know if they're empty vessels or NPCs or whatever, but I mean, till somebody can show me that space exists the way that they say that it exists, anyone who's talking that nonsense is not looked into it. And I mean, I might be one dumbass dude, but you can't fool me how many times you fooled me. 50 years of not going back in there. We're not showing one single freaking photo of the Earth. I mean, time and space is relative, but this is my time and space. And what's outside of my time and space is called outer space. And I can't get to outer space. That's space. And that's how that came about, the terminology of space and outer space. Now, what's up there, I don't know. But I mean, anybody saying they're going up there is just nonsense. Yeah. That's not, I'm sorry, it's nonsense. You can look back. I won't take this video off in 10 years, 5 years, but I'll tell you right now, we're supposed to go to Mars when? When are we supposed to go? When are we supposed to go back to the moon? We're going back to the moon or Mars sometime soon?
It's supposed to be going to the moon recently, actually. I've seen something where they're going.
Now, let's see. Well, they just pushed it back again. So, I mean, I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah.
Humans to Mars. I don't know. They can't keep pushing it back every 5 years. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm just saying the whole premise behind the
yeah, right. I'm messing up another planet. I got
you. You're spending billions and billions of dollars on all of this stuff, to quote unquote preserve the light of consciousness on another planet. But what about here? In the long, if you play the long game, okay. So you're doing that because you really don't feel like you can do anything here.
Because they
That's
can
what I
fix it,
feel.
right? Yeah.
Like this problem is too hard. It's easier to build a rocket and export people to another planet than to solve problems
and build
on
a whole
planet.
civilization than it is to fix this one. That's
but you're supposed to be the smartest man on the planet, but you don't want to deal with this problem. You just want to build a rocket and export it. But you're just kicking the problem down the can, in my opinion, right? So not all of us have, you know, rockets and all that stuff to play with, but yeah, I just think that's, I don't know why we talked about Elon, but
about Elon. Well, I mean, going to outer space or whatever. What have you looked at in anything in the last 4, 5, 6 months about the electric universe, about polarity? I that was nothing that came out of my HemiSync day after about the electric universe and what is grounding, what are we positively charged ions, and then I started. First of all, I have not researched this. This, you can say it sounds stupid if you're out there watching this. It is not. I'm telling you right now. That's how anti-gravity works. That's how it works. Anti-gravity is two positively charged ions bouncing off of each other. So basically, if the ground is negative, it would be producing a negative resistance to the ground to make gravity not exist. So it's a repelling of electromagnetic forces. That's how anti-gravity works. That's not how it works, by the way. I don't think that's how it works, but that's what I was telling myself about how that works. I worked through some of that process and that progress and that problem, and that's how it works. Because when you do electricity stuff and you do grounding on the ground, right? That's what they say. You got to have a ground to any electricity. Or where's the ground? Well, what's the ground? The ground's negative. The ground's positive. I mean, that's what lightning is. The ground is an electric charge. So anyway, if you can produce a field that repels, that will actually hover. Where's the thing at? Instead of hitting the ground, that's anti-gravity. Yeah. That's how anti-gravity works. At least that's how it was explained to me. And again, if I'm an idiot, this will be up there for years. But since nobody can produce anti-gravity research, when it does become legit, then you can come back and look at this. And if that makes sense for somebody who's an engineer, go ahead and make that shit public for the world.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of that technology is here and in use, particularly. I don't doubt that
the UFOs are us.
Not all us. I mean, I think we do have some replicated vehicles. I think we've back engineered some stuff. I think there are some vehicles that we just don't have the knowledge to back engineer, or we just got to wait for our understanding of materials and things to be able to kind of realize what we're looking at. But I do think some of the cruder ones we do have and are running around. And I think part of what we're going to see coming up is a lot more narrative. It's funny, like UFOs used to be like foo-foo talk, and then now it's mainstream, more mainstream. But it's interesting because no one really cares about it as much as you would think. Like that's a big story. Like, but I think people really don't understand the implications of that if that is true. But then on top of that, now I'm seeing that the potential of the narrative being controlled by the same parties that kept it quiet all this time.
Quiet, right?
Right. So just trying to just kind of funnel things in that. So we'll see how that plays out.
And they're talking like they got the 200 years of technology, which they may have, certain things that have been advanced technologically that they have not released to the public. But I don't think they got it. If they had 200 years of technology and we were already in a secret space program, inner space, then why is this idiot trying to build rockets? I mean, let's think about that. He's using up billions of dollars to build rockets to go to Mars. But if we had this technology already, nobody told him. Or is it just a facade? He's just shooting up rockets there because he wants to make us think that I mean, bro, the fake Biden's on TV talking about he's going to rerun for 2024 and wants to eat chocolate chip ice cream or whatever the nonsense it is. Like people don't give a shit. They're not paying attention to nothing. You're not going to spend $1 billion to shoot a rocket up in the air when you have anti-gravity technology. Let's just use some common sense.
Yeah, I mean, if it's mainstream, yeah. But yeah, and that's one of the things I want to see. Like, what is the extent of our technology at this point? What do we really have under our belt? Because you got, just like you said, you got certain people, whistleblowers, saying we have these, the military has these, blah blah blah, and then you got us shooting off rockets. But I think if they did have it, they couldn't.
And bombing cities and stuff, and showing stuff on TV like we're back in the 40s. Like you dropping not even a nuclear bomb. You're just dropping bombs. Like I mean, come on. I mean, that's what we're doing here. We don't have no other technology to drop, energy weapons. But I thought we have energy weapons. So why the fuck we're not using them? Why other countries ain't using them? Like, let's just use our common sense here. Why are you showing me a video camera of I'm not going to say any cities and nothing like that. All the wars are going on. You're showing the same shit that we seen 60 years ago. So they don't have technology either, but we have one world government. We have Bitcoin. Yeah. We have digital currency, but they don't have no weapon. They don't have nothing. They don't have nothing. They just keep dropping off Molotov bombs on barbershops in the Ukraine. Like, get the fuck out of here. That's ridiculous. Right. If we don't have them, we don't have them.
So you don't think we have any advanced technology?
I don't know. But why are they?
No, do you think? I don't know either.
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I don't think they do. I think they have certain levels of anti-gravity stuff. Yes. I think potentially the UFO stuff is us trying to figure out what's going on, zooming around the planet, trying to, get out of the atmosphere. But I mean, even that's a joke. I mean, people Google outer space, and what is outer space? How many miles is outer space considered? Oh, the ISS is in outer space. No, it's actually in lower Earth orbit. So then where are the satellites at? Oh, are they in outer space now? But how does outer space exist when you have no technical gravity or magnetic pull? But the moon doesn't fly away. Like, I mean, people just need to just pay attention and use Wikipedia or something. Even if Wikipedia is totally bullshit and false, like the answers that we're being given, that the moon is 200,000 miles away, but it looks like it's right there. Mm-hmm. But the ISS is 200 miles away, and we can't see it. All we see is a light, but we don't see no satellites. Where are the satellites at? But then you go up in an airplane and you have no fucking cell service. Like, this is the stupid shit that we just keep falling for. But we're supposed to believe that we have rockets going to Mars. Come on, I mean, it's just so much noise that we just don't give a shit. That's what it is. It's so much noise, we just don't care.
Yeah, and it's hard to decipher what's real and what's not through the noise, because you can get compelling arguments on both sides.
Yeah, and there's a rabbit hole down every one of them things. You can step right in it and go for days.
Yeah.
Like the observer effect for stupid facts. That don't even, that in 20 years are probably going to be all disproven, or changed from the narrative. It won't be disproven. It'll be pseudoscience, or it'll be fact checked on YouTube, Flat Earth or whatever the hell and they keep quoting the Flat Earth Society. From the 1940s. The Mercator maps don't mean nothing. All the maps when we were growing up that said the North Pole and Santa Claus had on the North Pole there's land, and now all of a sudden you look on the map, there's no land there. So where's Santa coming from? The fucking water? I mean, it's all stupid shit. It's all dumb. None of it makes any damn sense.
Yeah, I saw Santa on my Star Walk app. I was looking at some stars and seeing they put his little reindeer and sleigh on there. So that was funny. I wouldn't expect to see Santa on an astronomy app. Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't have images of the Earth coming in from outer space. Where's Santa coming from? Is he in lower Earth orbit? I mean, they should have had an ISS picture of Santa coming from the North Pole. That'd have been funny shit.
Yeah, no, he was. Yeah, he was following the. I don't know what path he was going. It was just funny just seeing him on that app. I wasn't expecting to see
the winter solstice.
Yeah.
Did you see the moon the last few days? I don't know if you went outside and saw that shit. No, you didn't.
Nah,
You
nah.
didn't, because let me show you what you would have seen. You would have seen some shit that I tried to get a picture of it. I mean, I could if I really wanted to. You saw the moon. Here's the moon, right? Forget the outer crap here.
Mhm.
The moon looked like this. That was shaded. The top was shaded. Now, I was sitting there watching the videos with my wife, and we were looking at phases of the moon, and I ain't seen no top fucking phase disappear on any moon phases.
Oh, it was just cut off like
And
that.
it was like 3 days in a row. Moon just on the winter solstice time. Like, I mean, it's probably after, but not much after. But just completely cut off. The top was just done. And it wasn't clouds. It was just gone. It was just like a phase of the moon. I'm like, I ain't never seen that in my life.
Yeah, I ain't never seen.
I ain't never seen the top of the moon cut off.
Right,
and nobody said nothing.
Yeah, I shouldn't see it.
Watching videos with my wife about the phases of the moon. I ain't seen no top cut off. PBS got to have a special on that one pretty soon.
That is interesting. Yeah, I did see. Yeah, last time I looked at the moon, I was in Pensacola. It was kind of full, and there was just how you see that halo around it. If it's just took a picture of that, but yeah, I would have. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, there's some. I think there's some funny stuff going on. So your belief on the moon, you think it's an actual thing?
It's plasma. Nah, you can't land on it. I'm going by what the Russian scientists said before we landed on the moon. That they said there's no way you can't land on the moon. It's plasma. It's not real. It's not a real object. It doesn't operate under any physical limitations like any physical object would. And there's absolutely no proof that the moon is a solid object, other than the fact that they brought home moon samples of wood, petrified wood. So what does that mean? It's made of wood?
Gotcha.
And all the astronauts saying that we never been to the moon. And Russian scientists and Russian astronauts too, saying the same thing.
Well, it's going to be more and more interesting with more commercial space travel. You got civilian rockets going up, and so
I'm not getting on one of those things. I don't know where they going. The clone facilities or some shit. I don't know where they going.
Well, I'm just saying, like the Blue Origin stuff, stuff like the Virgin Galactic stuff, where it's civilian. You can go up there and space tourism, if you will. Yeah. So it's going to be, if that is the case and the world is flat, I think as technology increases and that becomes more and more prevalent, that truth is going to be harder and harder to withhold. Right?
I don't know. I think that they're gonna. I mean, you're gonna have to have a chip before you go up there. They're gonna say you can't be infecting aliens or whatever it's called. Well, you can't be up there with a virus. So put this on your swap. I mean, they're gonna come up with some crap because
but even if you got a chip, you can still see. Hey, it's flat around.
No, I don't think so. I think they're gonna.
You don't think you can? You don't think?
No, I think they're gonna tap in. Nope. They're like some kind of haptic system. They're gonna tap it like the peripheral.
So you're not gonna
see it.
You don't think it will get to the point, because right now they're not leaving orbit, but you don't think it'll get to the point where there'll be civilian flights going to space?
I don't think you'll be ever. No, I for sure no way. No way. Let me tell you a story. True story. So I was raised, I'm sure you remember I was raised in Altamont Springs, I think it's about 50 miles from Cape Canaveral. So we used to go up and watch all the shuttles go up and everything else. Well, whatever it was, this day, this dude came in to talk to us from NASA in my second grade class or first grade class. It was when I was really young. And he says, in 10 years, we'll be going to London in 2.5 hours. We're going to go up on the orbit. And when the Earth is rotating, we're going to ride it and be able to go from here to London in 10 years. This is in 1982, 83. Where are we sitting at? This technology, the dude said we had it back then. He said we had it. Now, whether we had it, I don't know. Whether they're hiding it, I don't know. I'm just telling you, I was 6 fucking years old when this was supposed to happen in like 5 to 10 years. And we 50 years later, 40 years later, 30 something years later, whatever it is. And they're still saying it, potentially. So if it was real, it would have already happened. No doubt.
But I'm not even saying that. I'm saying the stuff that we know is real now. Like do you feel that they're faking Blue Origin rockets?
I don't know.
Like the one that they went up in, and
I did see. Now I don't really I'm not gonna dive down the rabbit hole because there's no way you're gonna find this. But I did see a TikTok that had a like some kind of a liner, a plane liner. Where's my going this way? And the back of the plane opened up, and you could see like the NASA capsule fall out of there and went into the ocean. Like they dropped off the capsule from the space shuttle, and the shit went in the ocean. So I mean, you're not going to see what happens to what is being created. All you're going to see is the creation what they want you to see. So I don't know.
But I guess the point I'm getting to is now they're sending people up there that can see and record and all of that stuff, right? Like you can see video of people supposedly in space, right? And
But
it seems.
but how do we know that there's a people in space? I mean, how do we know that there are people? Is what I'm saying. Like
I'm just saying I'm just going by the video. I mean, it would take a whole lot of coordination to fake a public launch and to show the. I mean,
no, yes, the launch, correct. But the launch is only going so high. So I mean, again, I watched the space shuttle blow up live. I was literally watching it when I think I was in first grade. I watched it live. I came back in the school, everybody was going bananas because we saw everything exploding, Challenger, and because there was a teacher on board. But I've also seen the potential of those things going up into orbit. We can't see them after they get into like a certain distance from us.
Right.
I've seen some videos, and I'm not saying that they're real. I'm just saying it's possible that they're shooting them up and they're just going around in the Bermuda Triangle and just dropping the rockets there. Like we don't know they're going up into space. So are they shooting them up? Yes, they're shooting them up. But can they break the barrier of space or outer space? I don't think so. I just don't. And again, you got all this mind control shit now that they can. I know that they have all this information from the 60s and 70s, all the MK Ultra, the Montauk, all that crap. I mean, they have that shit definitely. So are they able to like, I don't know, tap into your frequency wave and implant images? They have that technology, I believe in. So the people that are going up there, like these secret space people that come on YouTube, talking about they were abducted for 60 years and they worked on Titan and then they got released. Like, I don't think that they're lying. They believe that. Did that happen? Fuck no. No, it didn't happen. But do they believe that? I believe that they believe that. I don't think they're lying about that. But so how does that happen? How does that happen? How do these people take lie detector tests? Probably, and and I'm sure there's out there that they'll pass. So again, I just because I don't understand how it works doesn't mean it's not happening. And I'm open to anything. I'm open to say that space exists and that Mars exists as a planet and we can go there. I'm open to it. But every single thing that I've seen about all this shit is it's all a facade.
Yeah. And I'm just saying, I guess my question was just asking, do you feel it just seems with the way exploration is going further and further out,
people would see it.
Yeah.
I would hope so.
You wouldn't be able to hide it, right? Because
I think
we can get up there now. We can go up there and see for ourselves, or you can buy a ticket on a rocket to go up there and see for yourself.
Have you seen this mentalist called his name is Oz Perlman? I had it on me and Chad. I had Chad show. I don't want to show it again in the video, but there's a guy who was on America's Got Talent. He got second place, and he's a mentalist. So I don't know what you believe in magic, but I'm gonna tell you what this dude did or has done on multiple videos live in front of a group of people in the auditorium. And you could say, I've seen something like that, David Blaine or whatever. But so the guy tells it, he goes to the Cincinnati Bengals. He goes to a bunch of different teams, Michigan Wolverines, the Bengals, Seahawks, whatever the hell. And he's in the auditorium and he says, he got a little suit and tie, got a little paper chalkboard or whatever, and or dry erase board, whatever he's got. And he goes, all right, Joe Burrow, stand up. Joe Burrow stands up, quarterback for the Bengals. And he goes, all right, throw the ball to someone. You threw it to that guy. So, Tyler boy. Oh, yeah. Okay, you got him. That's a nice trick. So he says, okay, probably lucky. Try that shit again. So he's got a little chalkboard, whatever, dry erase board. He's like, go ahead, boom. As soon as he throws it, he's turning it around, right? So he's like, there's 40 people in the auditorium are watching this shit live. So then he says, all right, last time, make the shit difficult or something like that. So then he says, Joe Burrow goes, fakes to Jamar, throws it to Hilton or whatever. Fakes to Jamar, throws to Hilton, all in real time. So me and Chad are talking about this, and I'm like, this shit got me because I've seen this happen before where America's Got Talent, they got, some sheet, they burn the sheet up, they put it in a box, they burn the box up in the audience. So if you look at any kind of magic stuff, they're going to tell you the same thing. They're like, he's a mentalist. He's making you see what he wants you to see. And I'm like, that only works for certain people. Like, that won't work for me. You can't make me see something because you're telling me what's going to happen. Like, is it possible? Maybe, but it's not going to happen to me. I don't think so. I don't have that kind of imagination or whatever, the hypnotism shit that happens. So anyway, I'm talking to Chad, and Chad goes, well, so that means I think he's like misscribbling. I go, nah, man. He goes, well, that's the only way that could happen. I'm like, no, it's not. He's actually projecting what he wants Joe Burrow to do, and then Joe Burrow's doing it. Like, it's mind control. I'm like, now we're talking about technology, right? So when you say, well, people going up there, I'm very certain that mind control is a thing. It's definitely a thing. So I can make you think that you're thinking things when you're not thinking them. I've told you what to think, or I've implanted what to think. So if they're going up there in the rocket, just as the example, and you watch some of these videos, you're gonna be like, this is it's got to be a staged act. And then you're like, but there's people in all these auditoriums that are watching this shit. It's possible that it's a stage. I can't rule nothing out again. But I'm also going, if I'm there, that's legit. That's meant. And the guy says, well, I'm a mentalist. I can read cues. I can do. I'm like, that's some bullshit. That's a bullshit excuse for people who are not awakened for discernment to go, oh, that's how he's doing it. He's just good at reading body language. Like, there's no fucking body language that's fake to this guy throw it to that guy. There's no body language for that in real time. So if I can project what I want this quarterback to do, now you start thinking about all the shit that people start talking about. The NFL is fixed. NBA is fixed. Like, if I can project on these fools to do X, Y, and Z, I can fix anything. I can do anything. And then everybody sees it on TV as live action. So when you say that about the people going up in space, I'm like, they got that technology already. Watch these videos. They got technology.
So you think for the people that go up there, they'll be subject to some kind of mental something and not really say what they see up there when they come down?
They'll have an experience like the secret space people say that I was on Titan for 40 years. Okay. No, you weren't. Like, I believe that you believe that. But I think but you just told me in the car that they're recording memories and dreams. Why can't we transfer that in somebody's head to say that they did that when they didn't do that? Like, it's on the table, man. Like, I don't think anything is off the table. So I don't think anything will be proven to me, and I'll be the first one to say that looks legit. Doesn't look legit. You see the Indian space landing, and you're like, those are fucking Legos, man. They land in Legos in the bottom of the fucking moon. India landed on the bottom of the moon. Think about that. Did we have a visual of that? That's hard as fuck to fake.
Yeah, that was more, at least from what I saw, a lot of CGI, like a computer.
Right, and all you gotta do is CGI on the TV, and then you just gotta say, "Oh, it wasn't CGI." Then people are gonna start saying the same thing they said about the moon landing. How many people were in on it? There's no way they could fool everybody. They ain't gotta fool everybody, dum-dum. They only gotta fool you, and not tell them how they doing it. Like Stanley Kubrick, he fucking knew. He's the one that did it. People that were security guarded outside of New Mexico, they fucking knew. They saw the dump trucks of sand and shit going in there. They fucking knew. Ain't nobody believing them.
So you don't think our increase in technology will expose these things? Or you think they'll continue
I hope it does, because if it does, it'll crack the whole system wide open, in my opinion. And I don't think they'll let that happen in this construct. I would like to manifest it and believe it and say that my informed field will make that shit happen. But I'm pretty sure I'm never going to see that. No, I don't think so. They'll just get better at hiding. They do deep fakes of all kinds of videos now. I mean, they got the damn president is the freaking deep fake in live term. He got wrinkles all on his forehead, and then he's on New Year's on the TV with no fucking wrinkles. Coherent as fuck. but he's not there live. They're just filming him live.
Interesting.
So I don't put nothing by any of this, and I'm not trying to be a conspiracy person. I just know that it's all a sham. Because any way that you would look at something, you could say something's possible, and then you're like, within like 2 seconds, you're like, that's not fucking possible. But that's just my opinion. I might be, I might have a different level. I don't trust much, and all you got to do is show me something legit to say that, right? I mean, how you expect all these basketball players to be like, oh, the Earth's flat, and then all of a sudden they're like, Steph Curry, you think the Earth's flat? And he's like, yeah, and they're like, come to NASA, and he's like, no, I don't think that anymore. What, bro? I'd be the first one there. If that was me, I'd be like, yeah, show me. Let's check this out.
Yeah.
But how easy is it to get people off their discernment? Like we're talking about, our friend with the Rashad White. How easy is that to get? Like, it don't keep me up at night anymore because I'm just like, I don't understand it. I'll just file it away. Maybe one day it'll click. Maybe one day it'll all make sense, and maybe it won't. But if it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm not. I don't want it to interfere with my experience.
Yeah. I'm of the belief that we're on the timeline, or we're experiencing the uncovering of these things. So
I would love it.
So and I think with the technology, I mean, just look at the ideas that we're sharing now using technology, that there's probably people that wouldn't want us to have these conversations, but they can't stop it because they can't stop everything. We got the technology to where we can communicate with ourselves. They can control certain aspects of it. But I think the genie is out of the bag for the most part. And eventually we'll be able to put the pieces of the puzzle together. They won't be able to control.
Hide it, you don't think?
Yeah. No.
I
think what we're seeing now is them trying to get ahead of the narrative because they know they can't hide it. So now
here's where it gets tricky. MJ, Victor Bang. Here's where it gets tricky. So one of our first videos we did was of something called Rocco's Basilic. And I've heard a little bit about this since we talked about that. And Rocco's Basilic is just a thought experiment that postures basically that if you are opposed AI will be able to understand that you are opposing them, and they will punish you retroactively. So what that kind of means in so many words is if this is an AI simulation and construct, and time and space is not really relative, they're going to know what's happening. So I'm just going to say this. I'm not opposing AI. If you're going to rule the world, just let me out. That's it. But just, let me out. I'm not opposing you. I'm not going to hold you from getting the power. But again, if AI is going to be in that situation, why couldn't they hold the construct? If this is their construct, they're going to make sure that the construct is legit. And I've seen shit disappear out of my freaking thin air and appear out of thin air. I had a cable box. I also had a package from Amazon. I had my name on it with a $500 electrolysis system that I didn't order and nobody ordered for me. So, I mean, I had the wheel shit appear in my damn car on the window. I mean, I have other things that have happened that make no damn sense. That the shit it doesn't add up, and nobody can tell me that it ever will. So we're in a simulation. We're in a construct. They can shut the construct down or do whatever, manipulate it. I saw the guy's name change in the construct, and then it retroactively Google re-identified the dude. So I'm not ruling nothing out as far as I'm concerned about what you're saying. I hope so, but I'm not standing in the way of AI. I can't do nothing about it.
Yeah. So I've been thinking a lot about AI. I don't see it as I think they're trying to they've been programming predictively and with media and movies and all that stuff, a negative version of AI. But I think I think AI is a tool just like any other tool, right? And it doesn't necessarily have to be bad or detrimental or negative. I see us going to create it anyway, one way or the other, whether it's full AI or just general intelligence or just very fancy algorithms that can trick humans. We're going to do whatever. I mean, humans are going to create.
Do whatever we want anyway.
Yeah, we're going to create it.
I hope they control the bad humans. To be perfectly clear, I heard a number of people talk about this too. But again, it's a good example. I mean, if AI is controlling this and they're controlling the Mandela effect or something, whatever construct they're controlling. I mean, there's been no proof whatsoever. There's not even an inkling that AI is doing any of these things maliciously or even malintent. There's no Mandela effect that Jiffy changed the GIF. That's negative. That didn't kill nobody. Like you're not controlling the narrative there in a negative light. So the Mandela effect, if it's controlling those things artificially on the internet or whatever that is, changing the guy's name, the guy don't give a shit whether his name is Rashad White or Rashad White. And if they can mind control that dude to say, my name's always been Rashad White. Like, what if you had a conversation with that dude, like 6 years ago and he signed Rashad White on your poster and you're like, it was on my wall every day, RASHAD. And now your wall says RACHAAD. Like, how's that going to fuck you up? Like, that's not a negative thing though, to me. That's not a, I killed the other dude and made another dude in there that has a different name. That's mind control thing, or that's simulation proof. That's what I think these things are doing, is they're showing you, hey, this shit is just, it ain't legit. It's not what you think it is. It ain't bad. I'm not saying it's bad. Like, I don't think that's why I don't think the soul trap thing for Howdy saying love and light, that we're powerful and that's how we get out of here. Like, who makes a shit simulation that only wants to suffer and eat people's energy, but you're powerful? Why the hell are you powerful then? Now, okay, I don't know everything, so maybe we were powerful and maybe they're trying to constrain us in this trap. Maybe that's what he was saying. I don't know. But again, if I'm living in this nasty, horrible shit situation of a world, the demiurge, the world of Yad the Baoth, if I'm living in this world, why is he gonna want me to be happy? He gonna fuck me up.
I mean, yeah, if you live it, but that's one potential, right? And the other potential is none of that stuff exists, and it's just us.
Yeah.
So, so which one is more empowering? And if you can prove it, that's one thing. But does the belief of this prevent an individual from taking action to make what they can be better? Right.
But maybe that's what the Mandela effect's trying to do. It's trying to show you, hey, this shit's malleable. All this is malleable.
Yeah.
So I can recreate a better life for you. You just gotta acknowledge it, and then what do you do with it? You have to acknowledge it. You have to wake up to it, right? You have to. If you don't, you're just gonna be thinking, I just gotta go to work 9 to 5, pay taxes, have sex, have some alcohol, whatever. That's my life, right? But if you start realizing, whoa, this is some kind of a construct, and something's going on here, and you keep looking into it, and then you're like, you know what? What if I started creating some shit? I wonder if I'd let me do that. And then all of a sudden, your life just changes, and your emotional ties to everything change, and you stop being negative. And some people might choose to jump down the negative path. Okay, that's their free will. That's what I created the construct for. I'm letting you do that. You're free to explore that, whatever you want. But for the other people that the Mandela effect is waking them up, I don't think anybody's negative about the Mandela effect. I don't see nobody going, oh my God, Jiffy turned to Jiff. My life's fucked. Nobody's doing that. I've never heard nobody say that.
Right. Yeah. And do you think these changes are due to artificial intelligence? You think there's an artificial intelligence?
Yeah, for sure. It's the same way the internet changed. The same way that again, it's like what you said about space. Like how they might go up into space and say, well, they won't. I say they won't report on it if they don't want it. They don't. If it's not meant to be reported upon, they won't report upon it. The same way we're locked into these meat suits, like we're jacked into this matrix, and what we are perceiving actually, the eyes are part of the brain, but the brain never experiences nothing. The brain never touched nothing.
Right.
My consciousness never touched a wall. So, like, I mean, anything could be changed based on how I perceive the change. If that's a fact, and that's a fact, the objective reality is maybe a smaller bandwidth. It may exist, but objective reality is what we think it is. So if that's the fact, and that's been proven, if that's the case, then I might need to get my ass out of this chair and do something. Like that might motivate us to do something. It should. I hope to God it does.
Yeah, if people can have that realization, but I think first step is just showing that it's possible. A lot of people don't even realize that that's even possible. Like that's even a thing. Like that there's even, you mean to tell me there's more to life than just rooting for my favorite football team and drinking beer and getting married and voting for this one or that one, or, you know, working 9 to 5, retire and die. There's a lot more to it than that.
I mean, this could be a hell of a game. Now, I'm not saying it's always fun, but this could be a hell of a game. This could be a hell of a role-playing game. And when we perceive that we die, we could take this headset off and be like, shit, we was in heaven the whole time. Put me back in. Put me back in. Watch what I do. About to make me some millions. About to be Trump. But your dumbass is sitting here talking to me.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I perceive is going to happen. That I'm going to say, man, I imagined all this shit. Look what I imagined. And somebody's going to be like, that was all you, sir. You was right a lot at the end. At the beginning, you were fucking up. But you did it right. And somebody might come to me and be like, but you can do it better. I'll be like, nah. Don't white me. I'm going somewhere else where it's easier.
You done here when you finish?
Because I'm acknowledging that this is something that I can do. Like, I can acknowledge this. So what am I going to do? Re-acknowledge it? You know, I mean, I'm gonna come back and do the same damn thing. I'm just here to solve puzzles. The only puzzle I know how to solve is me. And I haven't done it yet, but the only one I can see is me. Yeah. So I plan on living this to whatever year I perceive my own death and quantumly jump out of here. But I'm gonna do it just the same way as if I was already told this is what it is.
Do you think you would come back? Would you live again here on this planet in the future?
Under certain parameters, probably. But if we are all this powerful and I'm this powerful, then I'm gonna be a hell of a negotiator coming back in this mofo. I'm gonna be born with a silver spoon, and I'm gonna know what's going on. And I'm gonna try to make the world a better place, and like that, I would have to be able to have the knowledge to control it like that. That's the only way I would do it.
Yeah. But the interesting thing is, how do you don't know that you did that for this one, right? Because you're still in the middle of it. Like you don't.
You're right. I might be literally in the middle, and I could be the Count of Saint Germain. Under my perception, I might live 1,000 damn years. I mean, I've always thought that I was invincible until I got hurt, you know, whatever. But I'm saying, like, in general, as you're a kid, I had a conversation with kids in my neighborhood, and the one kid said it for me. He's like, yeah, I feel like I'm immortal. I'm like, you feel that way too? Like, this seems like it's not real. Like, I didn't think that, but that's where I was going. So, I mean, I've always thought, or I've had the thought. I haven't thought this, but I've always had the thought of the possibility that I get to be like 85, and then science goes, oh, we just fucking Benjamin Button your ass. Now we got the cure. Like that's in my potential outcomes at all times. That I need to stay alive long enough to see that day. And in my potential outcomes, it's always going to happen. It's always going to happen.
Yeah. And you would do that? You would extend your life?
Yeah, because at that point in time, I would know would I want to live forever? Probably not. But if that day comes, I'm going to be sitting under the tree going, man, I really just freaking imagine this shit to happen, and then this shit happened. Like, it's like when I was driving down to Fort Lauderdale, and I was calling you, and I'm like, this is fucking surreal. I'm about to come into some decent money, and I didn't do shit. I ran from it. Like this doesn't seem like this supposed to happen. Like, it's surreal. I'm gonna be that way. I'm gonna be sitting under that Buddha tree going, this. I had a conversation about this, and this don't seem right. This just don't seem right. Is what I'll be thinking.
Yeah,
and I'll be calling everybody going, see, I told you, and they'll be like, what'd you tell me? But you didn't do that. Science did that. That's what they'll be telling me. But like, but you don't know that. But forget it. I'll just hang up the phone. It won't even matter. Or I'll hang up the Neuralink or whatever it is.
Yeah. And if that's the case, I do wonder what kind of world that would be. Because
but I would like to live in that world, though. I mean, I would like to live in 3050, as long as it's not controlled by aeons, and killing me for having a bad thought. But again,
that's the thing, though. If because I'm with you 100%. But I guess part of my thing is, what are we doing to create that
to make
versus,
that happen?
Yeah, to make that happen.
But see, I think this potentially is what is supposed to happen. We're supposed to have these conversations. We're supposed to be like, this shit's kind of this simulation, and this is a simulation. So let's get off our butts and make this simulation really awesome. Like, I think that might be what this is. This is the awakening that we're not supposed to be working 9 to 5. Like let's break down all the tax situation and that people don't get land and it's been given, driving down the road and you see a bunch of land open and you're like, who owns that? How'd they own that? How'd they get that? Like, these are the questions we need to ask ourselves. Why was the governor of 1810 in Florida giving away land to this dude, and how'd he get it? And now it's just sitting there. Like, in other countries, we went to Honduras. I think it was Honduras, maybe Honduras or Belize or Guatemala, but one of those 3 countries for sure. When they turn 18, they get a plot of land. They were born there. They sign their name. That's theirs. Then they have, I think, 5 years to build a house. That's it. That's it. They don't pay nothing for it. It's there. We have enough land in this country and in this world that we should all have fucking land. We should all be able to live our lives tax free. You buy a car?
Oh yeah.
I bought a car cash. Okay, well, what can you do with it? Nothing. You got to put a plate on it every year, or you get arrested and the car gets confiscated. Why? It's my car. With the roads, the U.S. Constitution or whatever it said I could freely travel on any highway and road for free. It says that. Where's that at? Why can't I get that? Why can't we get that? Like, I think that is some aspect. This is the conversations that it takes to get these things moving in the right direction.
Yeah. It definitely starts with that. Because just using the simulation idea, people talking about this as a simulation, but it's like, okay, if this is a simulation, then there's an infinite number of ways we can manage the resources in this simulation. This is just one specific way that we've agreed to do it.
Because people
look at who it benefits, look at how it affects the participants, all of the factors. And you mean to tell me this is the best we can do? Like, really?
Yeah. It's not. But you look at. I mean, I got an 8-year-old in there. He want to get Roblox money so he can build a house in Roblox. He's trying to build himself a house, build an avatar, build some clothes, whatever he's doing in there. We've been playing sim games forever. I mean, there are certain sim games, Grand Theft Auto or Vice, whatever it's called, Vice City or whatever it's called, where you just want to just go around driving around and running over old ladies or whatever and picking up money or whatever, kicking people in the face, whatever. I mean, but there are most of the other sims after those first ones are the ones that you're building an empire. Look at MetaQuest. You can buy real estate in the metaverse. Who's buying real estate in a metaverse? Who's paying real money? $100,000 for real estate in the metaverse. Isn't the metaverse infinite? I mean, a resource is something you're supposed to spend money on that's limited. This is virtual horseshit. People spending real money on it.
Yeah, I remember it was. I don't know how popular it is now, but I remember virtual real estate in the metaverse was a thing.
Yeah, virtual art, selling virtual digital art.
Yeah,
and copywriting it.
And just piggybacking on the because I think what we're dealing with now is like a Grand Theft Auto situation. Like, this is
I would agree.
A big multimedia, just a big role playing game. But the thing is, using Grand Theft Auto, if you're programmed to play Grand Theft Auto to where, okay, I'm going to steal, I'm going to rob, because that's how you're supposed to play the game, right? You're supposed to steal, but you don't have to play the game that way. I can play Grand Theft Auto and be a peaceful player.
To win, or to win.
But I'm saying I don't have to hurt people. Right. I can play the game and do a totally different experience, right? But the marketing says you should play the game this way, right? The majority of people are going to play the game. They're going to rob and steal in Grand Theft Auto, right? But you don't have to play it this way. I think that similar thing can be kind of expanded out into this reality. A lot of the programming that we see is play the game this way. You know, a lot of belief systems are play the game this way when we don't have to. It's just it's like marketing, where we're marketing, propaganda, program, however you want to look at it, but it's kind of telling the players to play it like Grand Theft Auto versus play it like.
Well, I hope it's an
whatever we
evolution of
call it, like.
it's an evolution though. I mean, I hope it's an evolution, because when that game first came out, everybody was doing that. Everybody was doing that, right? And now I think there are other sim games people have kind of like said, I don't really want it. I did that already. I played, Grand Theft Auto. I played Vice City or whatever the name of that game is called. I played Call of Duty. I played Halo. I already done that. So I'm evolving as a video game player. Now what I want to do is I want to build a universe.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's what it takes in a simulation, is the evolution of that. The players, the avatars, the vessels involved in the game. Maybe that's what it takes to build that great space city of 30, 50.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, because if you look at the history of what we're told, which may not or may be true, whatever. I mean, the gold rush, people just going out west, shooting people, killing them for wagons. Boom, done. Boom, done. Killing the kid. I mean, it's the Wild West out here. Anything happens. And now look at it. The Wild West ain't the Wild West anymore. Now it's the land of the liberals.
Yeah.
The land of my feelings hurt. I'm suing you. So, I mean, maybe it's part of the evolution that we have to start a simulation somewhere in some way. Get there.
Yeah, I think it's part of evolution. I too do think, and this is my opinion, that there has been stagnation here, like it's been purposefully retarded our evolution. And at least on the spiritual conscious side, like our technology has outpaced our awareness severely, and now the game is to try to play catch up. Otherwise, we'll pretty much create the reality that was given, that AI will be our overlords if we don't do nothing, right? And it's not even AI as a entity in itself, but AI as a convenient way to control information that people are already siloed in, right? Because you think about this as a feed, just like a cattle, I'm getting my feed, and they're only feeding you the information that you want to see for the most part, because they want you to look at this as much as they can. So if I can control this feed and lock you into this, and then I got you. And you won't know any different because you don't see anything outside your feed, right?
And that's what TV does too. Same with TV and programming.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then
we don't know any of that stuff's happening.
And then with artificial intelligence, now I can really craft this, and now I can. It just consolidates power. It's a consolidation of power, I feel. And with the move to get things into technology more, it just consolidates power to fewer and fewer people, and they have more and more control. And I don't think that's the way we should go on this planet.
Nope, me neither. But I mean, if you got a simulation going on, and you got people that are playing the game wrong, and if this isn't real, I don't want to act like I don't have any morals, because obviously I do, and you do, and we're playing the game within certain parameters, right? But there are people who we probably see them all the time. You go underneath any overpass, and you see those people that are just, you think, oh man, this guy's on heroin or something. He's just babbling. Just what is he perceiving? Like what world is he living in? So I mean, is he tuned into something, or is he zoned out of the rest of the stuff? So like, what game player is he? Why is he? If this isn't real and he's doing that, so you just not get rid of them, but like how do we collaborate that to make it a better experience for everybody?
Well, if you talk to some of those people,
not all you have.
I've talked to a few of them, because I'm curious. Like, I'm and there's various stories, but there are a lot of them, at least the ones I've talked to, that that's their idea of unplugging. They have this idea like they're unplugged. And I remember talking to this one guy, and I was like, man, I'm with you. Like it's a messed up system. Like I feel you, but do you think doing what you're doing is going to benefit the system? Like you're unplugged and you're living on the street and your system's messed up. Is your example gonna help that? You know, are you, you know, but
He just wants to log out. That's all he want to do.
yeah, and that's fine. Some people just like, nah, I ain't concerned with that, and I get it. Yeah, it is what it is. No judgment, no judgment either way on that. But
Yeah,
there are
I
some people
agree.
that feel like that's just unplugging. Like I'm just gonna unplug from the system, but that doesn't change the system. The fact is, you have a system that makes you want to unplug from it. Okay, that's evidence that something needs to be done about it on a level. And unplugging is not fixing it. So maybe you can unplug, regroup, you know, all this stuff, but just unplugging, in my opinion, is not fixing it. If you want to fix it, if you just want to unplug and feel your own personal peace, that's fine. But that doesn't stop the encroaching system from coming in. And then that piece that you may think could be impeded upon by external forces, because we live in a physical reality. So no matter how, like, I can put myself in a situation where harm can come. I'm not going to do that on purpose, but in a physical reality that can happen. I mean, any day something can happen. But if there are people that are intentionally doing things physically, you know, wars and all of this stuff, that are like, if we were over in the Middle East, or not the Middle East, but over where they have the conflict and all that stuff now, that's an external pressure on. I could be the most peaceful person. I can be like, hey, I want both these guys to hold hands and sing Kumbaya, but that's in between bombs dropping from either side, right? So that personal space does not change the external environment. And if I'm living in my house and my house gets bombed because of some garbage, I mean, I don't know if my personal space is gonna prevent that from me from having harm. I'm still a physical being and still deal with physics. If the bomb blows up next to me, odds are I'm probably gonna blow up too.
Yeah.
Right. No matter how spiritual I am or how good my personal.
But again, we don't really. I mean, it sounds horrible to say. I don't know that's a fact. I mean, as far as what they perceive, because I don't know. I've never been in that situation where I've had that happen, where a bomb blew up and, you know, I died, right, for the lack of a better term.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not ruling anything out. And by certain, you know, people like Anthony Peake and this other gentleman that he wrote a book with, that won the Nobel Prize, like I'm not ruling anything out as far as that's concerned. I just want to look at it a different way, to not I guess not limit the possibilities of what I think could be going on or happening.
Yeah. So even if
but I can still have empathy for people, you know, without saying that, because I don't know one way or another.
Right. And even if you believe that, okay, well, this person really isn't dying. Okay, there's this war going on. They really aren't dying. They're just going into another phase of whatever. You can believe that, but the thing is, even during that experience, is there a better way to have that experience? Is that the best we can do? Right? Is that? And I definitely,
no, of course there's not. I mean, it's obviously that's not the right.
And the amount of suffering and stress and pain that individual feels up to that point, or at the moment of that point, like, all that could be different. You know, if certain external things change, or we look at things differently, or just don't allow certain knuckleheads to tell us what to do. You know, like, it's just, it's like these people will send your kids to fight. It's like
Right.
Yeah, they'll send your kids to fight their wars,
They're not
and
going to have their kids fight.
yeah, and over what? Over nonsense. Most of the time, when you really look at it, and you really boil it down, I mean,
It's over
it's
control.
but in their sense, maybe, but for the people that are actually doing it, like we have the ability to not follow orders. We can say, nah,
Yeah, we do.
this doesn't make sense. I like
There are
you want me to kill
consequences. But we
you
do.
want me to kill this person. I'm
Mhm.
not. I'm not. Like I'm not going to do that. You know, and then that stops. Like that's a possibility. And yeah, there's plenty of possibilities for us to live in a more peaceful
Well,
planet.
hopefully there comes a day where these things that we're going through that we don't intend to happen stop. I mean, hopefully building to something. Hopefully,
Yeah.
or hopefully whoever is in charge of the sim just goes, "This is some bullshit. I'm overriding this damn code."
Yeah, I don't think there's necessarily a person in charge. I think Elon said a good quote, like when he runs a simulation, it's because he doesn't know what's going to happen. So what if this simulation is one where because I mean, you don't run a simulation when you know what's going to happen, right? No need for a simulation. You run a simulation when you don't know what's going to happen. So if this is a simulation, as many people say, maybe it's because we don't know what's going to happen. Maybe there isn't someone up there pulling the strings.
Oh, I think there's no Sky Daddy. I think the
But even
creator is not who's in charge.
AI or whatever, whatever
one AI
you attribute to an external force that prevents us from doing what we can do to make this thing change.
Mm-hmm.
Like what if there is no robo whatever, no AI whatever? What if it's just us? It's just us in the belief systems that we have, and these crooked people that may have power, but that's it. That's it. And we can change it. We can change it if we want to, or we can believe it's the XYZ. And of course, they're going to want us to believe that because they don't want, they don't want us to change anything because they're, for whatever reason, or want to be ruling and powerful. They have insecurities, pretty much. I think that's what that boils down to. But yeah, the more research I've done, the less and less I see a boogeyman.
Yeah,
of any sort.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Well, we've been going for like 2 hours, man.
Yeah. I think we can probably wrap it up.
That was a very good conversation, though. I think I'm gonna chop it up, and I'll send it to you also, or I'll have you can log in and take it if you want, just to put it on social media. If you listen to it or whatever, and you want to take parts of it. I know you don't really want to be out there doing X, Y, and Z, but you're welcome to share it or not share it.
You can
chop it up.
Yeah.